Hello, this is Danny and this is the July class in a box tutorial. So every month I usually try and base the classes around a stamp set or it's a product based class, and last month I was promoting this Peaceful Moments stamp set. I'm sorry about the light, it's reflecting on the plastic, but I won't be too long with this. I also recommend this lovely stamp set. It's called Many Mates. That's on page 43 of the annual catalogue, and this has got lovely sentiments as well. Lots of them. There's thank you, there's happy anniversary, happy birthday, of course, get well soon, congratulations. There's 19 cling stamps on there for £21, and that is also really good because it's got lots of different fonts as well. But I'm using this one today because so many of you have bought this, which I really love as well. So that's that. I thought, because there's also so many of you that are actually new to stamping, that I thought I'd look and just sort of recommend investing in some basic equipment, really. So starting off with the trimmer. The trimmer here is a really good trimmer. It's in inches and centimetres. It's got this little arm that you bring out, and then on here you can put, if you're a scrapbooker, you can put a 12 by 12 piece of card in there. There's this sliding bit here, with the lighter part is the scoring tool, and this is the actual cutter, and the cutter is really good to use. It doesn't require much pressure and it cuts really well. Obviously you have to change the blades, but that is with any cutter. So yeah, this is something that is quite a basic tool to invest in. And then you've got bone folder that I use quite a lot. That gives you lovely crisp edges when you're scoring your card. Using this really gives you a nice sort of crisp finish. This is a take your pick tool that I use a lot as well, and it's got a putty end for like sequins and little tiny things that is hard to actually get hold of with your nails. It's got the pointy end, and then it's got a little sort of palette bit as well. Sort of, if you're using sort of putty and texture, it's also quite good. This is a nice pair of scissors, but it's not just any scissors. It's Snips that is also in the catalogue. But it's really handy to have a small pair of scissors that's pointy at the end and easy and sharp, because we're going to be using this a lot today. Obviously, another selection of scissors as well that I have. These are sort of material scissors, to be honest, and they're quite good for cutting when you're doing boxes to get a nice sharp edge. So let us get started. First card is this one, and we're going to be using this, all the new in colours this month, and this is Misty Moonlight. So these are all the lovely note cards. Now I'm going to use my bone fold already. Folding the card and just giving it a nice edge. So putting that to one side. Then you've got your ribbon around your DSP, your designer series paper. Now ignore mine because I didn't have enough. I've only got enough for you to put in your boxes. So this is the original. So you'll have this, but I'm just doing that so that you can see what it looks like. So you have to put it on your DSP like we did last time, and put it on before you mount it. Now I'm going to keep that to one side for the moment. Then you've got this lovely little spiral sort of die cut, and this comes from the poppies. Yeah, the poppy, I've forgotten what it's called now, but it's really lovely. I've used it a lot. And then this is just a little blue disc in the same colour, so Misty Moonlight. So looking at our sentiment, and this is where it is here on the card. Now that is quite long, isn't it? So I'm going to show you a little bit of fussy cutting. So we're going to cut that, and this is where you need a good pair of scissors. So when you fussy cut, I've learnt everything I know from Stacey Marsh in my upline. She's really the queen of fussy cutting. So when you're doing your fussy cutting, if you get the scissors stays in the same sort of position, and you sort of manipulate your card really more than you do your scissors. So you're going to just cut around this, and you're going to leave a little border, just tiny little border, and that's why you need sharp scissors really, and you need the pointy bit in the middle, because if you're cutting around flowers and things, you need to really get in there and get right to the end, and that's why you need the point. So you just keep cutting. I know people say if that's a bit getting in your way, just cut it off, and then you're just moving the card and cutting with your scissors. So you then, after better, you need to cut that off, and then you've got two little bits here. So you get your disc, and I've given you some little mini dimensionals. Oops. And then pop some dimensionals on the back of this. Now, as I said before, try not to put too many dimensionals on your card, so it's really got a lot of depth, especially if you're posting it. But if one lot of dimensionals gives it a little bit of depth and texture and things. So you take the backing off. So then you can mount it where you want it. And it might just go off the page a little bit, but it's fine. And then you get your glue. Put it onto your die. And then you're going to offset your ribbon. This is a slightly different pattern, by the way, to that, because the flowers for every season pack only comes with so many of the same sort of pattern, so that's why that is slightly different. So I'm not putting dimensions onto that. I'm just you can either put it on under here or on there, but I'll just leave one lot of dimensions. And then you're going to pop it on here. So pop your glue on the back. And that's it. So that's the first one done. So then we're going to do the pink one. Lovely magenta madness, and it is madness, but it's actually a lovely rich colour as well. So again, this is slightly different paper to the one that the original one. I actually quite like this paper, to be honest. So I have, and it's different on the other side. So you've got, I've actually used the tear and tape, which is this, and that just holds it in position. And then I've just done a knot and then popped it to one side. So before I mount it, I'll put my sentiment on here, and then I'm going to mount this. Oops. And pop some glue. On there, and then I'm going to get this, and it's probably best to keep that in position there and then mount it like that. And then you're going to pop your flower on, and you can either put a glue dot on or just put this on. Put my wet glue on. Then take your pick tool. It's easier to get all the little gems up with the take your pick tool. And then, oops, stuck to the paper now. Oops. And then mount it onto there, and it's quite nice to put some dimension on it. There's a little bird outside that's constant. I don't know whether you can hear that. Chirping and singing. Right, so nice crisp fold, and then mount that onto there using my glue. There we go. So I've got glue now on my, I have to change this over. So that's that one. Now we have got the yellow bumblebee one, I think. So the bumblebee, love this colour. Such a nice, rich colour. It's almost a mustardy colour. This is my favourite out of all the colours, the in colours. So again, slightly different colours on here to the original, but that is what you're gonna mount first. So strange that it's pink on the other side. And pop that centrally as you can. Then we have got, I've already stamped my happy birthday on there. Now when you stamp your happy birthday, just remember that in the paper you've got a little border coming up. So try and get it into the middle a bit more. To the right hand side, 3/4 down, and then to the right hand side a bit more, but remember you've got a little border there. So then we've got some sort of long dimensionals that I'm going to use on here, and I'm going to mount this like that, but I'm going to use these, and this should be in your box as well. Just need my scissors. So instead of the sort of dimensional like this, you could cut it and put little ones along there, but it just gives a sort of a nicer finish if you're going to use these longer ones. You only need it on this side, and then you take that off. Mount it on, and that's it. It sort of frames the card a little bit. So then you've got these lovely little, sort of like almost mistletoe-y. I think they're quite nice for Christmas, and this is a punch, which is really nice. So I have to keep getting up to see whether the camera is still in position. Right, so I've given you a few of these. Now what I've done is I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to mount it like that so it comes there, but I don't want to see that cut, so I'm going to hide it with that one. And then I'm going to get a bit of scrap and cut another one. So if you have a punch, turn it on the other side, and then you can see what you're doing. Punch it out. So here I'm going to use the glue. And I don't want to stick all of it down, because I think it's nice that it sort of is got a little bit of the edge coming out, so it gives a sort of movement to the card rather than just everything is stuck down. So don't forget you've got your two little flowers coming on there, so we don't need anything in the middle. And just have to make sure you know that it's not going to, you're not going to put glue onto that leaf, because obviously it's not going to be stuck down. So just put glue where you know it's going to go. So then I'm going to do, I love this little bloom punch, small bloom punch. I'm going to do a flower, another white flower, oops, takes a few seconds to dry, and have I got enough of that on. I might need a little bit more. I'm going to cut that again, just to have that coming out, I think. So a little bit of glue. And it will stick eventually. So I've got my foam mat, which I quite like and use a lot. And then if you press that in on your foam mat, and you get a little bit of dimension here. So then pop some glue on the back. You can either put a glue dot or you can put the wet glue. That's that one. A little bit fiddly. And then you've covered the bits that you don't want to see. And then I got one of the cinnamon cider gems to pop in the middle. And then you're ready to mount that on. So just a bit of glue. A bit confusing when it's got pink on the other side. Right, just got to see that it's going in place. It's hard to see when the camera's in the way, to see whether I put it centrally. Oops, fingers are sticky. There we go. So that's that one. Then we've got the green Just Jade. Love this colour as well, to be honest. I don't know what's my favourite. I do like Bumblebee, but I do also really like the Magenta Madness. It's growing on me. Right, so your DSP, that is going onto there. And now, a bit more fussy cutting. You've got your sentiment on your white card, and then I'm going to use this card and I'm going to do some fussy cutting again. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before. Manipulate the card and leave a little rim around it. Now I know some people say, oh, you know, life's too short to do all this. And I think, yeah, life is too short, but if you want something that looks nice for your card, then life is not too short. This is well worth the effort to make your card look lovely. And think of the person receiving it. And also sometimes I think fussy cutting is actually quite therapeutic. Quite like it. So I'm going to raise this up, so I'm not going to put dimension on there, and I'll put too much there. I'll put too much glue. It's a new glue, so it's coming out too quickly. Save that for later. And then when you put it on a bit lower, only because you've got a little pattern up there. You've got some sprigs and some flowers. So if you pop it down a little bit, Then take your ribbon, and if you fold that in half to get it through that little hole, sometimes you need a little bit of help. There we go. And then you're going to put that through that little loop. If you've done gift tags before, you know how to do them. And then once that's done, you can separate that out and then cut that. That's why you need sharp snips. There's nothing worse than having blunt scissors. So then we need some little yellow small blooms. And we also need a few sprigs of this lovely just jade and like a mistletoe, I call it. I think this is quite good to invest in, to be honest, especially for Christmas time, because I think it looks just like mistletoe. Right, so then you're going to build up your little label. Oh, my fingers have got glue on it. So I'm going to get this back and curl up my flowers and pop some glue on. And this side. I'm going to use some glue dots, I think, for this. Hide that bit of glue there. And then put a little gem, enamel dot I think they call, enamel dot in the middle, so it links it all together, and then you're ready to mount. So I'm going to put this out a little bit. Now I'm going to mount this on dimensionals. And then you can do your ribbon once you've sort of mounted it. And then I'm going to pop that on there. A bit more glue. Right, so once it's in place, I'm going to just sort out my ribbon. And that's it. So we're getting there. So that's that one done. And I think the last one is the male one, which is cinnamon cider. So now that is your ribbon, lovely cinnamon cider ribbon. I'm going to mount that onto the DSP, Now you've got these lovely little antiquated corners and slide elements, they're called, and they all come like this. So with your little, looks like a little belt, which is quite sweet. So you just feed your ribbon through. It's exactly the same size and it fits really well through there. And then it looks like a little belt, and then you're going to pop that on there. I'm not going to use the belt this time because I've only got enough elements for all of you, so I'm going to use these little corners instead. So I'm going to use the tear and tape. This, let's show you this little silicone sheet. This, nothing, no glue, because I get very sticky sometimes on this. And this is a silicone sheet that no glue will stick to it. So it's quite handy when you're using different types of glues, because then it doesn't dirty up your sheet of paper. So I'm going to pop that there and then cut there. This is my tear and tape. So I'm going to mount this on here, but you can use glue dots, you can use whatever really to make it flush against the paper. So I'm just trying to separate it. It's hard to do it with just your nails. Right, so done. So nothing will stick to that. So then I'm going to mount my ribbon onto there, and that will stick back there like that. So it just gives you another little added dimension there. Sorry, not dimension, texture I meant. So then I'm going to, you don't have to do this, I'm just going to mount, just you have a freehand style black edging, so you don't need to do this either, it just gives it a little bit of a frame. I've already mounted my sentiment, popped little dots there, and then that is my guide to where I need to head towards. And that's it. But it looks nice without it, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. So then you get your little bit of ribbon. See if you can fold it in half. You need to pop the top through the little hole. Again, pop it through the loop. Then pull. Separate it a little bit. Then you need a tiny bit of twine. And it just gives you another added little thing to make it look a bit different and hold it together. So a little bit of twine and a bow. I always think males don't really like ribbon and bows, but bow and twine is not too bad. Then once you've done that, you can snip those bits off neaten up your ribbon, and then I'm going to mount this at an angle, and I'm going to use dimension. So again, pop the backs off, and then I'm going to pop that at an angle. Now also, actually, I'll put this on first. That's going to go that way. So I'm going to mount that first. And then put those little elements on. Just gives it a little bit extra. Oops. It's nice for a mail card, I think. But you'll have your little belt bit. So that is it. So you've got your 5 cards in your lovely colours. So there we go, and the lovely matching envelopes as well. So nice. Right, so next month we are going to be doing something slightly different. Next month there is matching cards, well, one matching card and matching box. Page 82 we're going to be looking at, in the annual catalogue, the lovely peony suite, the peony garden suite. Now what we're going to do is a card and matching gift box. We're going to do 2 aperture cards, and we're going to do a shadow box card. So all will be revealed on the 1st of August. Until then, thank you for joining me, and bye for now. Happy stamping, crafters.